a few a few times we mentioned Jewdas, the Jewdas guy, Joseph Finlay. He's the only member that can be really identified out of that group. Small group, very secretive, as you'd expect. Don't really want to draw too much attention to themselves. He's the one person can be publicly identified. He's written for Think. I mentioned that in Redley Road, but I don't know what this guy's go is. I just don't trust this guy. Um, I did mention, I think it was in the anti-Corbyn party, that little video. I mentioned the Cedar, the Jewish religious thing, where they held up the beetroot. And I wanted to know who tipped the Tory press off about that. You'd assume it was someone trying to undermine Jeremy Corbyn in the Labor Party. There's plenty of those people, most of them actually. But you do wonder sometimes, is there a mole in there, in that little group? That's sort of a minor thing. A more serious problem is Finlay in particular, because he's the public face of Jewdas, siding with all the Jabotinsky attacks on the Labor anti-Semitism people. Chris Williamson, a whole heap of them. Even people outside of the little anti-Semitism thing. George Galloway, always attacking, always joining in the right-wing attacks. And I could never get that. They always did it. It was reliable. And there's just no solidarity there. This is what you see with anarchists. They'll talk about mutual aid and this and that, and there's no solidarity with socialists at all. They'll join in the right-wing attacks whenever they can. I never understood it. I just think, why join in, even if you don't like Chris Williamson? Very weak charges against him, and plenty of others. I don't want to go into too many details, but I just don't understand it. I mean, I do understand that anarchists and Trotskyists are trying to undermine any sort of socialist or revolutionary action all the time, because it's what they do. It's their little thing. They just try to sabotage everything. And they just can't help themselves. You can't really blame them. It's just how they are. But you don't expect them to actually join in. I've tried to understand it, trying to curry favour with the Jewish Chronicle and other people like that. Don't get it. So, who are they? What's this guy's Joseph Finlay? What's his go? Is he just a plant? Is he genuine? Is he just could he be MI5? Could he be police? That's all I can think of. I can't think of anything. Or he could be just another anarchist just trying to sabotage everything. I mean, the latter's the most obvious one, but I think Ricky Tomlinson, the actor, said that Richard Whiteley was the Countdown host, the old guy. He died a few years ago, 20 years ago, I think. He was an MI5 informant. He was a police informant. He was a Countdown host. And I said that about Riley. I wrote a blog post a few years ago suggesting, when she started getting into Corbyn and going to see Theresa May at number 10, I suggested she might be an agent of the deep state. And yeah, that sounds outlandish, but if Ricky Tomlinson was right, maybe she is. And so Joseph Finlay, he could just be an anarchist wrecker, or he could be something a lot darker. I just don't trust this guy. And if you do live in England, I'm just going to not interfere too much in your politics. They don't like that now. That's, after Trump. But I'll say if you're in left circles in England, Britain, don't have anything to do with these Jewdas guys. They are very shifty people, and I would avoid them at all costs.